fundamentals and principles on evaluating speeches. Evaluate to elevate. Now, for the purpose of our guests in particular, the Toastmasters program is very unique. There are lots of public speaking training programs out there. You've heard of Dale Carnegie and programs of that nature. And they're all effective in their own right. But what makes Toastmasters so unique is the mere fact that we don't wait until the end of the semester to get our report card. We get our report cards at the end of every class. In fact, as soon as we would have performed the exam. It's like when you go to get these certifications now and you do it on the computer, and immediately when you're done, you know whether you passed or not. And that's in Toastmasters. But the only thing is not so much about passing or failing in Toastmasters. And so that's how we learn in this program. That's what you will see how we do it here this evening. And so Toastmasters provides, first of all, immediate feedback. Now, what does this immediate feedback help us to do? Firstly, it helps us to reinforce. In particular, we want to reinforce the positives in our in the presentation. It's very important that the speaker knows what he or she would have done well, which strengths he or she would have developed. In particular, if you as the evaluator were privileged to observe the speaker in previous presentations, you can refer to that. If you've noticed noticeable improvements, you can indicate that you've noticed a growth pattern. You've seen their dedication to their preparation. You may want to refer to the fact that in a previous evaluation that you did of them, you commented on a lack of preparation, but tonight you've noticed that they definitely prepared for this presentation. Things of that nature, because it's all about building up the speaker. And I want you to excuse me for the clearing of the throat, but there is a bit of sinusitis going on here. It helps us to focus on areas that need work. So you're not just, be careful not to practice too much embellishment. But at the same time, you don't want to be disingenuous to a speaker. So you want to highlight the positives, but you also want to let them know areas for improvement. And we want to do this in a tactful way. And I'm going to speak more about that because I've witnessed some things in this club that I really wish to see discontinue in that area. And so, how do we offer methods for improvement? First of all, you can offer a new perspective. You can share an idea with the speaker on how you feel. And notice I said, what did I say? How you feel. You cannot tell them definitively that this is what they should have done. Because keep in mind that an evaluation is merely your perspective, your observation, your opinion. You can be sitting to this table with 15, 20 Toastmasters. And you may very well be the only person who saw it your way. Wow. If we were to canvass the room, we could find that everyone else saw it differently from you. So you cannot say, this is what you should have done. You should have done this. And I hear a lot of that, you should have done it this way. You should have done it that way. No. And we'll talk more about that as I go along. And so, but you can offer them a new perspective on how they could have approached it. Perhaps something that worked well for you or something that you have observed worked well for another speaker. You can share that. Help them to recognize and then to solve any difficulties. And so sometimes you would have noticed a speaker got hitched as he went along in his presentation. Well, make a note of that, and you can share an idea of how they could have overcome that particular hiccup or that particular hitch that they got caught in. Now, the evaluation is designed to benefit us by improving our overall speaking skills. It can help us improve the way we write our speeches, the way we present our speeches, It can help us improve our overall practice of our body movements and our gestures and our voice and so forth. For example, you may want to, you might have observed that the speaker's voice was a bit brassy perhaps, a bit hoarse, a bit scratchy.
Okay.
And you can give a recommendation such as, Mr. Speaker, I would recommend perhaps recording your speech. By merely recording your speech and playing it back over a few days, you will get to hear how you sound, and you can then practice polishing your voice tone, your voice pitch, and making for a better presentation. These are the kinds of recommendations you can give for improving the speaking skills in general. But it's also supposed to build self-esteem. Your evaluation should help to enhance the speaker's self-esteem. And if you were to approach your evaluation effectively by being positive, by giving feedback, by giving areas for suggestions for improvement, you certainly can help that speaker to improve, build their self-esteem. Now, one of the most effective methods that we use, or the most common, I should say, is what is known as the tell and sell method. And there are several different types of evaluation, basically, but I would only cover just a few of them. You have the pre-evaluation, the written evaluation, the immediate evaluation, and the tell and sell. Now here in Toastmasters, we tend to use more the written evaluation. As you can see, members will have a copy of the presentation of the manual, and the Toastmasters manual has a page in it that is designed for the evaluation to be written out, so that the speaker can take those notes back home and read them through and become familiarized with. As a speaker, you may not agree with the entire evaluation. Well, you take from it what you feel is valuable to you. You take from it what you feel is suitable. And if you want to throw the rest in the garbage, that's up to you. Because it's all about your improvement. And so, we use the written evaluation, and we use the immediate evaluation where you actually evaluate against them and verbalize the key point. But when we talk of the tell and sell, it speaks to a method as we use in Toastmasters where the evaluator does all the talking. The speaker during the evaluation process listens. Now, of course, in Club 1600, we see this often being breached, because I've heard, and not only in this club, even in other clubs that I've visited, I've heard speakers giving lip, as my mother used to say, boy, you give too much lip. Giving lip as the evaluator is making certain comments, because the speaker did not agree, and the speaker is challenging the evaluator during the evaluation. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. There is room for that, because it is recommended that an evaluator should have a chat with the speaker after. I try to do that when I'm an evaluator. I try to have a little chit chat outside or what have you after the meeting with the person I evaluated, particularly younger, newer members, to find out how did you feel about the evaluation that I gave you. Do you have any questions about anything that I said and what have you? And that's how you help the speaker to grow. Because it's not about you, it's about who? The speaker. Who's it about? The speaker. It's about the speaker. So you have to first of all show that you're interested in the speech. And oftentimes, the evaluator himself is engaged in a private meeting at the tea, whilst the speaker whom he is to evaluate is at the lecture. Now, and yes, you possess some real special skills there. I would dare say that it's very difficult for you to zone in on what the speaker is doing and saying, if you are conducting your own meeting. So show that you're interested. Personalize your evaluation. And what do we mean by that? Put yourself in the position of the speaker before giving your evaluation. Do not be talkative like Cyprian Gibson is doing now. All right? Pay full attention.
They always do. Be quiet.
Stay away from certain words and phrases. When you're evaluating, you don't want to say things like, you didn't do this. You should have done that. You failed to do the next. These are condescending comments. You want to stimulate for improvement. So you want to say things like, I believe that had you tried this, had you added that, had you approached it from this angle. You want to say things like, Mr. Speaker, my reaction to that comment in your speech was this. It made me feel like that. So that you're expressing the emotions that you felt from the speech, during the speech. I would like to suggest that you try this or you do that. Evaluators' mantra in mind to maximize your skills. And what do we mean by that? Mr. Speaker, what I saw from my angle, from where I sit, I saw you commanding that lectern. I saw you controlling the speaking area. I saw you well synchronized in your body movements and your hand gestures. And so when you use phrases and sentences like that, you're letting the speaker and the audience know that you are a part of the speech. You felt the speech. What I felt was this. What I heard was that. What I saw was like that. These are the kinds of phrases that you want to use in your evaluation. Evaluate the speech, not the person. Evaluate the speech, not the person. And for heaven's sake, don't repeat the speech. we know there's one or two that do that in this club. It's okay to refer to a particular, it's okay to refer to a particular quote or line or statement in the speech that really struck you, either good or bad. But to get up and tell us again what the speaker said as though I wasn't present, it's an offense, an abomination. That is not effective evaluation. Time wouldn't let me say more on that. You want to promote self-esteem, all right? So moving along. Don't whitewash at the same time. Don't whitewash. What do I mean by that? All right? Be straight up. Be honest, Mr. Speaker. All right? Don't just make it all glorious and flowery like they did everything, right? There's only one perfect man ever walked this earth. Who was that, Ed Carey?
Ed Carey.
No. There were two perfect men who walked the earth.
Ed Carey was the first one.
There was Christ and then there was Ed. But be honest. Be analytical. But to be analytical, you must first do what? What some of y'all ain't doing. Pay attention. Right. Don't overpraise.
No.
Lotion.
Lotion.
Okay. Be upbeat. Be encouraging. And use the sandwich approach. What's the sandwich approach?
Good, bad,
Okay.
improvements.
I grew up on slam bam. I had enough slam bam. I used to another slam bam right now. I just go bam and that's it. So I move on to bagel and cream cheese.
Oh, how you roll up?
All right? Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Really?
And this is how an evaluation should be.
What?
This is how an evaluation should be. When you cut the bagel, you have what? 2 halves.
Halves.
All right? The top part of that bagel is when you're getting into the evaluation and you telling them about what they would have done well. You get into all the things that I mentioned before. And then you want to tell them how to improve upon that speech. And that's when you take that knife or spoon and you take a good gorge of that cream cheese and you spread that over. And you're letting them know, listen, this is how you can improve the speech. And then, to close it out, that next slice of bagel, you must come with some more highlights of what impressed you, what touched you, and how they did well in their speech. You never end on the cream cheese. You got to close it together or you don't have no sandwich.
I see.
And so, connect to your opening statement. Go back and do a quick recap. Summarize it all up. Use a personal story if possible, something that from personal experience will work for you that they can really identify with and take home. And encourage the speaker and the audience to apply what they have heard, what they've learned. To all of you, our guests, Ms. Bank of Bahamas, Little One, the school you go to, Aquinas, great school, and our lovely guest over here. Take whatever you have heard here this evening. You can use this. You don't have to be a Toastmaster to use the evaluation. Some of the techniques and principles I shared here can just as well be done in evaluating a colleague, evaluating an employee of yours. The same principles apply. You don't need to do a end of year evaluation by ending on a negative. You always want to end on a positive. And so take what you have learned, and the rewards of using these are many, many, many. And so I leave you and ask you to always evaluate to elevate, Mr. Chairman.